Hey guys, Thomas Jr. here, aka Mustached. I just finished up my review for Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate. So, I wanted to make a follow-up video talking about something that has been on my mind and has definitely been rummaging around some other areas between Warriors fans, I've at least noted. And indeed, it is something that I've, again, thought of myself, and the prospect of it does seem extremely promising, so let's actually talk about it. So this will be significantly more interesting to fans of Warriors games. With that out of the way, if you end up enjoying this little discussion / talk, then feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links. One will head you over to my Discord, second to my Patreon, third to my PayPal. Any donations will help me continue to make content, and so on and so forth. Shilling will be recalled at the end. So let's talk about it. So one thing Warriors Orochi has not done is make an Empires game yet. And that is interesting when I think about it, as Dynasty Warriors games have all had a side Empires game, I believe ever since 4, I want to say, at earliest, as well as Samurai Warriors also having its own offshoot of Empires games. And I'm not sure where it started there. I want to probably estimate at the second one, maybe. Regardless, point being that both installments have had their iteration of the Empires, and with Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires on the loom, why not talk about what the potential of this could fully be? As I do feel like the ultimate experience of Warriors Orochi could be felt through an Empires-like game. And could probably be even more significant than Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, as Dynasty Warriors 9 had a significantly poorer start and had a lot more to rebuild, and still, even past all of that, the goodwill that had taken away is definitely not unfelt. So, here's a question. Why not go for it? Koei Tecmo does have, I would imagine or hope that they would still have the assets to pull something like this off. Keep the assets from Dynasty Warriors, Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate, and just integrate the Empire system into it. In terms of capturing bases and creating characters in the Dynasty Warriors 9 Empire fashion. That to me would be the ultimate warrior game overall. And quite frankly, I think that's free money right there. Any Warriors fan would probably look at the aspect of the best of Dynasty Warriors 8 and the best of the Samurai Warriors 4, the best of the gods, the best of even the newer characters from Dynasty Warriors 9 that have their own unique weapons this time around, hopefully, and the best of Samurai Warriors, newer characters from the Spirit of Sanada, all of that collectively put into one game called Warriors Orochi 4 Empires instead of Ultimate. And I think you would have yourself, again, the best Empires game explicitly. Now, of course, there would have to be a little bit of finagling. Of course, you would have to have maps of all of China and its current statuses and sectioned off areas, as well as a map of Japan, as, again, they have the assets already set for both of those, so I can't imagine those would be too hard to obtain and use in a, cohesive collage unit, as well as introducing a new area in the God area as well, and just take it from there. I think, again, that this could be the best of any Warriors game currently existing. And again, I think it's free money. Ultimately, this idea, it's free money, so I think Koei Tecmo should really hear this one out. Or, have someone translate it and, nudge them this idea. Because it is easily something I assume that any Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors fan would like to compete in or take part in. So, you have the most unique weapons in all of Empire's history. Now you have cause of, over 100 different weapons, and all of them, or for the most part, like 99% of them are unique. That is unprecedented, unless you count Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, but you're also adding on top of that every Samurai Warriors character, every God character, and all of their unique weapons too. So that is a lot of weapons that you can choose from. Of course, you could have the crazy customization that you see appearing in Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, and bam, you have the nicest looking Warriors game in terms of looking graphically, because quite frankly, when I look back at Warriors Orochi 3 and their models, it does not hold up that well. I'm gonna be completely, blatantly honest on that one. The Warriors Orochi 4, the models have definitely increased in quality in terms of that, if that's something you're concerned about. So, in terms of it looking good, it is going to look the most impressive it's ever been. And again, you have the most amount of land to conquer in this Empires game comparatively to either of the other versions of the Empires games. So there are the most unique maps in any Empires game ever conceived. So you have the most unique weapons, the most maps, the most amount of call options, that is, create a warrior options. All three of these things would be put in the Ace of Spades, the tip of the top of any Warriors game that you're going to choose the best from. And again, you're just going to have the best of it all. So again, it's going to have the most amount of intrigue, the most amount of people would want to go like, wow, that game has the most amount of everything, really. That seems impressive. I think I'll buy that game. And you might even come in with some new people that might have not have, ever been a Warriors fan, and they would have been completely thrown into so much content that you can throw at them. Now, I know I'm not the biggest fan of DLC, depending on what the DLC is, and more importantly, how much it costs. And I know that Koei Tecmo is not adverse to having lots of DLC. So, while I would prefer it that it be unlockable in-game, I guess I would begrudgingly not even argue as to have it be all of the DLCs, be all the previous costumes for all versions of Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors, all spiffed up with the new graphics. Sure, just as long as it's cost effective, I wouldn't mind putting a little extra money in. Although again, preferably I would prefer once you play a character enough times, you can unlock a costume or something like that in-game. That would be my preference, and I think that would be the preference of a lot of people, quite frankly. Again, giving people the ultimate Empires experience, I think the most amount of people would buy that game, so the need for DLC would seem a lot less needed. As, again, the amount of people that would probably buy our game would be the highest value it could possibly be. with the most amount of content in terms of weapons, locations, move sets, so on and so forth, and the amount of little events that you can occur, the crossover section. You can marry between the different crossover characters, create your own characters where you can have significant others and create your own forces, all stuff that's carried over from other Warriors Empires games. And distinctly, I would probably prefer the amount of, tactical advantages or strategies that you can deploy to be the most as well. Arguably, the tactile strategy portion of Empires has usually been a little extra bonus of like these little things you can do here and there. There are some big things you can do, like big storms and stuff like that, and I wouldn't mind those being in the game at all, but I'm just saying it would be nice to see some really unique strategies, pincer attacks perhaps, which would have your actual men move in different different ways, rock slides that can cut off parts of the map, rams to barge into castles, and exceedingly having the wait time of that be not significantly, slow, so that the player can actively continue to play the game at a decent pace to their leisure, as it were. So those are just some ideas within the tactile strategy portion of it. In just the way the enemies move as well, have it be that the opponents are actually aggressive, a little bit more aggressive. To be fair, in the harder difficulties of Empires games, they do get a little bit aggressive, but that's only applied to the unique officers, which there would be a lot of. So it'd be nice to see a little bit of that, depending on the difficulty, the ultimate difficulty, having the officers really bring it to you, really try their own strategies, really move about and, take bases back and, just fight back in unique ways, would definitely be compelling gameplay in terms of it going a lot more back and forth in terms of, what strategies are you actually going to use here, how are you going to cut the enemy off now that they have pushed, that far into your camp and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of opportunities here to really show off the amount of strategies you can come up with to really separate it from even past Empires, games. As I said, the stratagems have always felt like they're just a little added bonus, so it'd be significant to see the amount of strategies that could be applied to this. And again, maybe a special warrior, maybe they come with their own strategy, and if they're a strategist, like, just for example, Juron, maybe he has a very special strategy with fire arrows, for example, and he can cut off your army in two or something. Meng Kuo can, summon his troops, and they come in with the elephants, and some areas become all swampy and poisonous. I don't know. I'm just thinking off the cuff ideas here for even unique character-based strategies that could be implemented based on the amount, who you're playing as. Each character could have their own unique strategy, as I mentioned. Lu Bu, the mightiest warrior in the Dynasty Warriors games, maybe he has a very unique fear mechanic or fear strategy that makes, the people get all, which you've seen in previous Empires games if you do certain things like jump from a high location to a low location, ambushing your, the guys. So you can just apply that to him, and maybe even someone else like, his equivalent of Tadakatsu Honda, perhaps. Or maybe Keiji Maeda, if you consider him the equivalent. But nonetheless, those are just some unique strategy ideas, and I'm sure I could probably think of quite a few more if I gave it some time. Point being that there's a lot of options you can do here. Maybe the gods have more cheaty, like, insta teleport. Maybe one of the gods has that. Loki, maybe, I don't know. Since he's a trickster, maybe he creates clones of himself. Maybe that might be more up his alley. And you have to defeat his clones, something we've also seen in previous Dynasty Warriors games be used here and there in the more magical realm. Zhang Jiao in summoning the big tornadoes that block you off, again, blocking people off from certain sections. The earth, the rocks that roll down hills, also used in previous installments. All of that can be integrated here. Now, of course, I wouldn't expect this to be on a PS4 or, previous Xbox. I would expect this to only be on PS5 and the newer Xbox Series X. Is they're all the one they're on? I'm sorry, I haven't kept up with the Xbox titles since they're more bizarre than Sony's just numbering it up one. Point being, it'd probably be more sensical to have that large of a game be dedicated to just the PS5, even though I don't even have one. It would be great to obtain one, but, for the sake of just how simply big that game would be, and how nice the quality has been getting, the combined effort of those two elements alone would probably require a decent, again, a PS5 could probably handle that swimmingly, or well enough anyway. So yeah, there's an idea that I'm sure I'm not the first to think of, but I wanted to explore it, actually explain, how I would integrate it if I were, behind the Koei Tecmo, makers. I would definitely pitch this idea if I could. As again, I do feel like that would be the true ultimate experience within any Warriors or Samurai Warriors games, respectfully. But, that's just an idea. At the end of the day, it's a free idea, so it's up to Koei Tecmo at the end of the day to make that a possibility. But they are more focused on Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, and we'll see how that goes. So this will be here as a little thing. Anyway, that is my full video for this. If you ended up enjoying it, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're going to comment, maybe comment your own unique strategy ideas and all of that crazy cool stuff. Do all that good stuff. Also feel free to check the links in the description. One will head you over to my Discord, second to my Patreon, third to my PayPal. Any donations are greatly appreciated and help me continue to make content like this. And with all that out of the way, until next time everyone, bye-bye!